All right, we're back again. We're going to be doing a bourbon raffle this week. So we picked out some things that you can kind of get for you in the raffle. We're going to kind of go through them that's available in this raffle. But if you're not lucky enough to get one of the raffle bottles, we've got backups for you that you can buy pretty much every day. And yeah, I'll let Derek talk about them here. So our first one here is the Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. I'll let him talk about the good replacement on that.
So Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel, this is a bourbon that was released a couple years ago. It's just normal Elijah Craig. They finish it in a toasted barrel to give it a little bit more of those toasty oak notes of like marshmallow, brown sugar, stuff like that. And I think a good replacement, since this likes to fly off the shelf, is Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. It's the same basic process. It's a heavily toasted, lightly charred barrel. They do a secondary maturation in. It's going to give you those same notes of like milk chocolate, graham cracker, a little s'mores note. It's a pretty good replacement.
All right, perfect. Our next one, we're going to be doing the limited edition Four Roses. And his replacement is the Small Batch Select.
So this one's a blend of 4 of the different recipes, aged 14 to 20 years. So it's a pretty high quality product. I enjoy it a lot, actually. I've got a bottle of it at home. But something I think is a good replacement is the Small Batch Select, because it's got 6 of the recipes. The 4 that are in here are also in this bottle. It's a little bit higher proof. It's 104 proof. It's not quite the 109 that this is at, but it's close. And it's about half the age, so 6 to 7 years on average. And it's a really solid product. It's also non-chill filtered. It's going to give you that same great mouthfeel that you're going to get from the small batch limited edition.
All right, excellent. The next one here, the Yellowstone. Is that the 2022?
Yep. So this is, I'm not as familiar with this product, but Yellowstone, it's been making some pretty good bourbon out there. We've got a barrel select of it on the shelf, I believe.
Okay.
This particular edition was finished in Marsala casks, so it's going to add a little bit of a fortified wine taste to it. So I couldn't find an exact copy, but I did find something I think is a good replacement, which is going to be the Rabbit Hole Derringer, which is a Pedro Jimenez sherry finished. So that Pedro Jimenez sherry is going to give you a little bit of raisin, a little bit of date, some dried fruits, and it's going to be a little bit sweeter. I know my wife loves this bottle.
All right, let's see. What was our next one? The Widow Jane?
Yep, we can go for the Widow Jane.
14.
All right, so Widow Jane, they're a little blending house out of New York, so they don't actually distill any of the product that's in here, but it is a blend of 14-year-old bourbons that are blended in New York. Another one that's on a raffle is this 1792 12-year. So that's distilled down in Barton, 1792 Distillery down in Bardstown, Kentucky. It's a Sazerac product, so think Buffalo Trace. This is like a cousin. Something that I think is a good replacement for both of these bottles, if you're looking for that age statement, is this Calumet 15-year. So the baking soda brand, they're like, we want to get a bourbon. So they actually reached out to 1792, and they're sourcing the product from 1792. It's a 15-year-old product. I enjoy this bottle a lot. It's a nice, got good integrated oak. It's going to give you that age that you're looking for. It's not. It's a little bit cheaper than this product, but it's still a solid sipper.
Okay, excellent. I never knew that about them. That's kind of awesome. Let's see, what do we have next? The
Michter's 10-year. So this is a once-a-year release. The current barrel number that we have is from 2021, so this is a couple years old now. So they release this every couple years. The owner of this brand, actually, they called it Michter's as a blend of their sons' names, Michael and Peter. They've got a few different products that they put out, but this is a highly sought after one, and something that I think is a good replacement. Gives you that same 10-year age statement, roughly the same proof, because we're at 45 ABV here, 47, so it's a little bit different in proof, but Russell's Reserve 10-year. Russell's is a part of Bourbon Hall of Fame. Jimmy and Eddie Russell have over 100 years of distilling experience between the two of them, and they put out a phenomenal product in Russell's 10, and it's also getting better with Russell's 13, which is another limited edition product. So
I like that one. That's on my shelf at home. Everyday sipper. Great price point. I love that one. All right. Midwinter's Night Drink.
So this is a fun one. This is a few years old as well. This is from High West Distillery down in Utah. They take a decently aged rye and they finished in port wine casks. So I've never personally seen a bottle of this on the shelf. So this is a little exciting in my opinion. I've heard really good things about it. So if you are interested in this but can't get your hands on it, we've got this barrel seagrass rye. It's a rye that's been finished in a bunch of different casks. We got rum, Madeira, and apricot brandy, and I've heard a really good reviews on this as well. This is a non-chill filtered product, so if you see anything floating around in your bottle, that's a good thing to look for because it's going to be flavor.
Okay, excellent. And the one I'm sure everybody else knows about is the old Buffalo Trace, but we've got a great replacement for that one. I'll let Derek talk about that one.
Buffalo Trace, everyone knows it, loves it, hates it because you can't find it.
Yep.
It's a solid 45 proof bourbons, should be on the shelf $25 to $35.
Yep.
But little known fact, Bowman Brothers small batch is actually partially distilled at Buffalo Trace Distillery.
Oh, did
they
I know
distill
that?
it a couple times and they ship it off to Virginia, and they distill it a third time out of Bowman Brothers. It's the same mash bill as Buffalo Trace. It's distilled twice and then a third time in Virginia, so it should be relatively similar distillate, and it's going to be aged roughly the same price. So
Awesome. I've heard stores like even comparing those two, and if you can pick which one is Buffalo Trace, you get a bottle of Buffalo Trace. So, I mean, if it's that close,
I think it's a
I think
good
it's a good
replacement.
choice. All right. So that is our raffles for this week. I hope you get a chance to come in and sign up for that. If you don't get one, like I said, we've got other replacements that are just as good. So stop on in. We'll see you again next week, guys.
Best of luck.